Hey everybody, welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Wade Acuff, and I'm going to be your host. More importantly, we have with us Fabiola Lara. What's up, Fabiola? How's it going?
Good. How are you, Wade? It's been a long time since we have
I
streamed
know,
together.
I know. It has been a while, but things are good. Before we jump into it, I do want to say hello to chat. What's up, chat? How's it going? Get your questions in as we go. We'll try to read them and get to them. Be sure to do all the liking and subscribing and stuff to stay in touch with what we're doing here on Adobe Live. And yeah, we'll be looking at YouTube as well. But Fabiola, why don't you start us off with a little bit of intro for those of us that may not know you so well?
Yes, if you haven't caught any of my other live streams before, my name's Fabiola and I'm an illustrator and I'm a content creator. And I create both a ton of drawings and illustrations and content around the said drawings and illustrations. Here is my portfolio. I guess it's pretty timely. I designed the vote stickers that are currently in the Instagram app. Then we
Oh,
have just like some random, a bunch of different
I didn't
projects I've
know
done.
that. I didn't know that you
Yes.
did that. I saw those today.
Yes, they're
Yeah,
it's fun to see them use it again. So yeah, it's
very
cool.
cool.
Hopefully some cool people use it. That's always a fun one for just like screenshots and stuff.
Yeah, nice.
But aside from that, here's my Instagram and feel free to follow me on Instagram. I share a lot of my illustrations and videos. You'll find most of my videos here. So that's why I wanted to mention it on the stream. Because if you go to my portfolio, there's just not as many videos.
Right.
Today, we're going to be working in Premiere Pro, like, like it says in the title of this video. And the one thing that I want to share with you guys is that we're going to be in Premiere Pro beta using the Generative Extend tool. So I'm really excited to use this tool. I will say, like, because I create content mostly for social media, I do tend to edit mostly vertical.
Mhm.
And right now, Generative Extend beta doesn't support vertical. So I've adapted some of my videos for horizontal, and I've come up with a hacky way to work around this if need be. But it works really well. So I'm excited to show it to you guys.
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of the horizontal, but I get why vertical is very important with all of our phone usage. But
Yes,
I'm,
exactly.
I love to see any kind of tips or tricks, so can't wait.
Yeah, I'm really pumped. I This is like a totally new feature for me, but it happens all the time that you're like missing a frame, or like a few or just enough for the transition. So I think this tool is really cool just for that and for the audio of it all too, because
Mhm.
I often like don't get room audio.
No room
And
tone?
then
Come on.
no, I forget all the time. So this kind of helps me. I can, finesse it. So let's get started. I'm going to play it through one time so you can see what we're working with, and you'll see that the ending is missing because that's the part that we are going to work on. Let me set an out point here. All right. All right. So this will be visible. I don't know where. Whoops. Sorry.
Uh,
All right. So I'll keep on editing here. So you'll see here we don't have an ending. I'm going to play it through and you'll see what we're working on here.
I just did something as an illustrator that I was so scared to
One
do.
second. Here we go. That's much better.
I just did something as an illustrator that I was so scared to do. This past weekend, I did some live full body portraits, and honestly, they turned out so cute. I used black ink brush pens because I find that they keep me working fast and loose, which is exactly what you want when you're drawing on location. I even got to draw this adorable couple, and I was so nervous because I hadn't drawn a couple on the spot before, but it turned out great and they loved it. I'm so happy with how the portraits turned out, and I can't wait to pop up all over Philly and beyond. I just did.
All right. So that, the blank space is what we're
mhm.
filling. In the vertical version of this, I have this like zoom out of the couple with the portrait. So we're gonna work on adding that into our video. Uh, of course, the easiest way, because I've edited it horizontally, we're gonna just start horizontal, no hacking, right? This is like how you would just do it if you were editing
Right.
horizontally. Um, let's take a look here. I've organized my files as best as I can while also having a ton of the same clips in different formats. So just keep that in mind. If you're confused, let me know in the chat. I'm going to keep it as organized as possible. So here are some of the actual clips that I have that are already horizontal. Let's see if we can find a cute ending because I don't want to use the vertical one just yet, since that's a whole other thing. All right, let's see. I had a version with it selected. I have a ton of these different versions because I never want to accidentally erase anything.
Oh yeah, I
So
understand that. Save a copy, make a
save
copy.
a copy, make
Yeah.
a copy. Yeah, constantly. Okay, I guess let's just find here. Okay. I've realized that Gen AI isn't really good at extending drawings. This is something
Oh,
that it's
okay.
not great
Yeah.
at yet. I'm sure the time will come where it will be amazing at doing that, but it's not happening right now. So let's go in here. I have so many files right now. Let's see. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I took this vertical clip, because this is like the best clip to end on, and
Hmm.
actually extended it a touch because the real clip, if you see here for the vertical edit, it starts right here and zooms in, but I wanted to start a little bit further out. And I did like a really hard AI generated in couple seconds to this so you can see
Yeah.
what happens
I was
here.
gonna ask how many seconds are we looking to
I
fill?
maxed it out because I was just trying to,
Okay.
I was trying to push it, I was
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
see what happens. So
That's what we
here's
that's what we do with new tools, right? We see
exactly, I'm
see what
just
we
like,
can get away with.
what can I get away with? What's interesting here? So if I want to add that clip here, obviously it's not a horizontal clip. So what I've created is this like what I'm calling a horizontal scratch pad. Oh, sorry. That's what it is. I have this mouse preset that I don't only is in beta where things delete if I press a certain button. And I keep accidentally deleting things. Anyway, all right. So we have this horizontal scratch pad.
That's an interesting workflow.
I know usually it's like, these mouses, usually I have it set up, but I guess with the beta, I
Oh yeah,
can't customize like my
interesting.
mouse. So it ends up being kind of weird. Okay. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place here, but there's so
Oh, you're
many
fine.
things we can do. So I'm going to go ahead and find the clip. The original clip here, I have it in horizontal extras. I believe it's this one right in here somewhere. Boop, boop. Oh wait, it's not. It's not a horizontal clip. That's why. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Here, live drawing. I'm gonna just real quick find it. Here it is. Okay. So what I've done is I'm just gonna pretend this scratch pad is brand new, but I'm not gonna create another one because it gets really unruly here. So I'm gonna drag this clip over and you can see it's already vertical here. So my way to work around this has been to go into effect controls and just turn it, rotate it. So I'm rotating it -90 and then scaling it back. This was in 3K, so it's kind of like yeah, 63 tends to be the sweet spot here. So here we have the footage and I wanted to extend it. So what I end up doing is now that I've horizontalized it, the official term,
Yep.
I am going to set it as the in and out point and I'm going to go ahead and export it. The reason I want to do this is because the settings for generative extend are very specific. You have to have the footage be 1920 by 1080 or
Mhm.
1280 by 720. Let me just make this bigger for everyone. And it has to be 16 by 9, 12 to 30 frames per second, 8-bit SDR, and a minimum of 3 seconds.
Uh,
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that because that's some very specific things you need to know.
it's very specific.
Yeah.
And this project was actually, again, I record everything at this point in 3K or 4K. And I say 3K because I'm using the DJI little camera and
Mhm.
it automatically defaults over to 3K. So that's why. So once I've kind of made it horizontal again, you'll see this sequence. The settings for this sequence are 1920 by 1080, so that we can meet the standards of generative extend. And I've also have the 30 frames per second. So
Mhm.
the sequence is totally fine, and I go ahead and export it. Now I'm exporting it to a folder I've called re-exported because I already have the footage here vertical and now it is re-exported. The reason that I didn't just go into preview and rotate it is because I still needed it to be 1080 and not 4K. I still wanted to be able to
Mhm.
like tweak the frames per second and all of that. So that's the main reason I didn't just do it that way. And yeah,
I love
everything
these
else.
portraits, by the way.
Oh,
Uh,
thanks.
Yeah,
It's been a fun thing to do.
in full length
You,
portraits. I
you
mean,
know,
you don't see that a lot, so that's it's
I feel
very
like it adds character. Otherwise, it's so much harder for me to do it
yeah.
when it's just the face. There's so much more detail in the full
Well,
body.
and also think for those of the those that really take the time to get a fit together, they would really appreciate seeing that,
Yes,
then drawn. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So now I have here this, I re-exported it. So it's the same, it's going to
Hmm.
look visually the same to you guys. I'm going to bring it to my re-export folder that I also have in Premiere. And now I'm going to grab it and bring it on over. Hold on. I want to make sure I grab the one we just did, which is this one. So now still working in my horizontal scratch pad. I hope you guys are following here. I'm going to drag the new version. So here we have the full um, resolution version. Hold on. This is not the actual scratch pad. Here's the scratch pad. I'm going to drag this clip over and I'm going to again fit it. The scratch pad is larger. Let me go over here. No, okay. Sorry, it's just cropped in. It confused me. And now this is the clip at 1080 by 1920, and we can finally use the generative extend tool, which is right here on in the toolbar on the bottom. It's the furthest down, which maybe it should be the highest up.
You
Question
can
mark.
always
You can
rearrange
move
that.
it around. I
Yeah.
know, I know. Okay, so we'll see here that the part that I want to start, that I want to extend is the beginning because I feel like I wish I had recorded just a little bit further back.
Uh-huh.
Again, for the sake of the demo, I'm going to show you the max. I don't think we should use the max because I think it's like a little too obvious that something's up.
Yeah, the
But
longer you have to like analyze it.
yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to drag the ending over and extend it. Okay, we're going to do the max, which is, I believe, 2 seconds.
The will it stop you? So it'll stop you at 2 seconds.
Yeah, it'll stop you at two
Okay.
seconds. So this
Okay.
is the full 2 seconds. We're going to let it do its thing. It's generally pretty fast. And yeah, it will only do 2 seconds. So if you need more than 2 seconds,
Yeah.
this tool is not for you. You need to go back out there and
Yep.
reshoot.
Gotta get the shot. Gotta get it
You
all in
gotta,
place. Yeah.
or replace it, replace the shot.
Right.
That's another option. Um,
Reshoots, you know how expensive. I'm just kidding.
yeah, reshoot, re-edit,
That's right.
work it out. You have 2 seconds of wiggle room here. All right, so it's already done the. I believe in this one we're gonna get a pop-up about the audio because the actual audio of the clip has some music because
Oh,
I'm like outside at a street
yeah.
fair, and it's not gonna generative expand music. So
So
that's
does
something to note.
so does it just mute the clip
It
at
just
that point?
mutes the clip.
Okay. Okay.
So there's totally ways to work around that if you wanted to. You know, you could just like tile basically the audio in some way, but I want to just show you. Thankfully for me in this edit, I don't really need it. Dun, dun, dun. We're almost there. You can see here I've played around with tons of different versions of
Yeah. Is
this,
this
and I'm
all for
gonna,
this same project?
yeah, well, for the demo, I just wanted to
Yeah.
see like all sorts of different ways to do it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Obviously, if you were working with already a horizontal clip, we wouldn't have had to do the re-export version,
Right.
but I wanted to show that for those that do mostly social media video, that you can still
Mhm.
use the tool. And I'm going to show how to like bulk export for generative AI for those settings. Okay, we're almost there. Again, I did 2 whole seconds, which is, it's
Yeah,
ambitious of me. It's
that's the
ambitious of
most.
me.
Right.
All right, so here we go. Now we have, I'm going to scoot it over so you guys don't
All right,
get
let me give Chad a little
here.
bit of everybody turn your head slightly to the left.
Turn your head a little
Yeah.
bit. So I'll flip it over for you, but I just want to show you how it's, I'm going to scrub through because I feel like it's going to be kind of fast here, but I'm going to make it large. So this is all AI, and you can kind of start telling in the feet area. Um,
Right.
and then we hit like normal,
Yeah, it's
and
pretty
then it's
quick,
normal. It's
like you
really
said.
quick
Yeah.
and very minimal. Something that you can do, which I was playing with here, I'm going to go ahead and turn it for the sake of everyone watching. Um, and I'm going to just scale it out so you can see. Is I tend to just like, you can always regenerate. So if you click this AI generated portion right here that it drops in for those 2 seconds, you can right click and hit generate again, and it'll do it again. I'm not going to do it because it takes
Yeah.
just as long as we just did. But you can also tell if it's good output or poor output. And I'm assuming that's going to help Gen AI get better and better. I feel like there should be something in the middle because I do feel bad saying poor output because it's not really poor. It's done a really great
Yeah.
job. But
Yeah, there's no
again,
like it's okay
yeah,
option. Yeah.
but feet are really hard. Like feet, fingers, drawings have proven difficult for most AI tools still. So no
Yeah,
surprise there.
and still difficult for artists as well. So,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So now what you can do, at first I thought, okay, I'm going to turn it back to the way I had it. I thought what I have to do is re-export this with the extension and bring it into my
yeah.
clip. But you don't have to. You can
Okay.
actually just copy it. So now I have this, right? We have this whole thing, copy it, bring it into my edit, which is this one, and I can just paste it and it's in here. This edit, again, the sequence for the horizontal is 1920 by 1080. So that's why it fits so nicely in there. But once it's in here, I can just rotate it
Hmm.
and zoom in because, of course, like I don't want all those black bars. Maybe I move it around and I can place it right in here. Of course, still not the best because we're going from, we're completely downgrading the resolution of this, but there's some wiggle room, and I just wanted to show you that it is
Can't wait to
possible.
Yeah.
pop up all over Philly and beyond.
So that's one way to do it. Of course, you can also just do it with a horizontal clip instead of doing that mishmash that I just showed you. If we wanted to just use a different horizontal clip, I've gone ahead and sorted my footage so that I have all my horizontal clips separated because when I'm filming, I like go back and forth, which is really chaotic. But that's what happens when you're just like a one person
Yeah.
production.
I was gonna ask you, do you make, I mean, I know this might be on the fly, but do you make like a shot list or have you done it so many times that you're just kind of like, I'll get some stuff and see what
I
happens
feel,
on the
yeah, I feel like for social media videos at this point, I'm like, as long as I have a little bit of everything, if it's like a event, a little bit of the
yeah.
entire process, I'll have something to show so I don't sweat it a ton. But yeah, if I made YouTube videos, I would have a shot list. And because I haven't, that's why it's this chaotic. Because I didn't plan for a YouTube video. Otherwise, I would definitely have to organize it a
Yeah,
lot better.
yeah, and also I think to me it feels like this way is a lot more organic and keeps the spontaneity. You know,
Yeah.
like if you were out there like, okay, let me set this up, and you're dealing with people the whole time, so that's always a
Honestly, I hadn't
question.
factored in the fact that I had to draw and film and do customer support and do like uh pay, like
Right.
all of that. I didn't factor it in. So like once I'm doing a portrait, if somebody comes up to the table and wants anything, it's like really difficult to help them out and get the portrait done in time. But
Yeah.
so aside from like hacking this vertical into horizontal, back into vertical, um, we can just take a horizontal clip. So I'm just going to grab this random clip here and bring it over. And again, this is huge, so it's not going to work. So you can see this is way bigger than the sequence settings and way bigger than the specs that we need to use Generative Extend. And that's the case for all of these clips. I just recorded them all in 4K. So an easy way to go ahead and transform all these clips into 1080 by 1920 is
Mhm.
to select them all just by clicking one and then hitting shift and grabbing them all. And then you do right click, export media. And now I'm gonna, you can see the location is still this re-exported zone. I could create another folder here, call it just horizontal, create, choose. And now I'm gonna go ahead and I don't want to match the source because the source is bigger. So here I want it to be I want it to be, yeah, 1920 by 1080. I want it to, where's the frames per second? I believe the frames per second's already what I need it to be. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, 30. So we're good. So once I have that set and I have the location set, you just send it over to Media Encoder. I'm going to go ahead and click it so you can see. And you will need, if you're working in beta, you need Media Encoder beta.
Okay.
Because
That's good to know. Yeah.
I had regular Media Encoder and it kept saying like, you don't have Media Encoder, you don't have Media Encoder. It's because it wants to like work within beta. So once you're in Media Encoder, it populates all of those clips into Media Encoder. And so you're ready to re-export the minute that you start hitting start queue. It will go through and
Mhm.
re-export all of those. And you can still be editing in Premiere, which is, the benefit of using something like Media Encoder.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not going to
cool.
hit it because
Yeah.
it'll take a while. And
Robert in chat is saying he's going to use that to fix all the horizontal vertical video clips that he has.
yes, exactly, exactly. It helps. I mean, you can, if it's just a matter of orientation, if you have a Mac, sometimes you can go through preview, but it is a hassle if you have more than like three. I
Yeah.
would say if you have just three, you just do it in your OS. But if you have more than that, you're just definitely gonna want to just import it and re-export it. Or I mean, there's a million ways to do it. You can also just do it in the properties.
Hmm.
Anyway, in this case, we can't do it in the properties because we need the clip to have the specific specs.
Yeah.
So I've already done that and I have them here under re-export. I have these horizontal clips in here that are now the correct size. So I'm going to go ahead and find a horizontal one that I like. I have a ton of these. Where are, oh, I'm not in the right folder. I was like, where did they go? Let me bring this up and go into my re-export bin. The one thing that I did notice is every time that you create generative extend, like every time that you
Mhm.
generatively extend a clip, it will create a sequence that has the original clip and the extension. So for example, you know what, let's do it with a new clip so that we can see some action here.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So it
Okay.
makes two separate clips out of.
It creates a nested sequence, or
Got
yeah,
gotcha
like a
gotcha.
nested
Yeah.
sequence. I'm I'm going to do it with this clip here. I'm going to bring it over. And this has been re-exported to the correct spec so you can see that it fit the sequence nicely. And I'm going to say, let's see what happens if I extend the beginning of this clip. Let's say I wanted like, it's kind of odd that I started it like at the middle of me going like this. I don't even know how that was possible, how I hit record like that. I don't remember. So I'm going to go ahead and use the generative extend tool. I'm going to bring it out. This is only like a few seconds. Let's see. Milliseconds, right? It can't process the audio. This is the, because it contains music.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the same alert. Again, this is from the same event. So I'm not surprised that this is happening to these clips. But that's all right. I have some other clips.
What if there was, like you'd mentioned room tone earlier, does it generate that if it's just, if there's no music? Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And I have a clip that I want to show you guys
Okay, cool.
of doing just that because I do find it really useful, especially when you're someone like me, you didn't pay attention to capturing that. So it's generating it, and you can see already it's decided not to generate the audio portion.
Yeah.
Can't complete. That's okay. It's my fault. I've done it. I've put you in this awkward
I mean, it's
position.
kind of a safeguard too, right? So
Definitely. Imagine if it like redid a song. You're
yeah,
like, excuse me, that's how
attempted
you think
to.
that
Yeah,
goes?
exactly.
How do you not know happy birthday? That kind of thing. But I've had a lot of fun with this tool, and I feel like there's a lot of ways to use it and manipulate it for your workflow. So that's why I'm showing you guys how to use it in vertical, how to use it in horizontal, and we're gonna see how we can use it with some audio, because it's fun, and I feel like it's only gonna get better.
Yeah. So do you find like when you're doing this, does the complexity of the clip, when I say that, I mean like what's being seen, does that seem to make it take longer to generate, or have you played around with that very much?
I think it is the complexity of the scene, like if there's people in it versus
Yeah.
just
Like if it were, a
nature,
parking
like
lot or yeah.
yeah, a
Yeah.
tree or something. This is like really kind of close up, and it's basically generating two people. So
Hmm.
let's see what happens. This is live.
Fingers
I
crossed,
haven't
everybody.
extended generate this exact clip. That's not.
I just did.
Oops, hold on. Let's see. OptX. Did I? What did? Oh, I'm doing the thing where everything's deleting. Okay, so it didn't do a great job with this, I will say.
Well, let's see how fast it goes, and then you may not
Okay,
even.
let's see. I'm gonna get in there. I don't know about that. I don't know about
Yeah.
that one, but and you can see here, like with handwriting and stuff, it's not doing a great job. But surprisingly, it did a pretty good job keeping the text kind of normal looking over here. So that's something to be aware of when you're working with Generative Extend. But I
Is that
have
over the generated part though? The playhead? There we go.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see here it didn't mess up the text too much. It kept
Yeah, I
it
think
kind
because
of
it
the
was
same.
static, probably.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
static.
want to show you guys. I did one of these where it worked really well. Let me just find it. Here. Yes. Okay. I found it. So here's what I'm saying that it like creates a nested sequence. Here
Hmm.
is the original horizontal clip. And then when I did generative extend, it starts right here and separates it. And this is nested in another sequence. So let me open this for you. This one it did a pretty good job. That's why I had faith that it would do it on the other one, but maybe it was just too much going on.
It's yours.
That's fake. That was fake me.
Do you like it? It's yours.
That little part right there.
Yeah. Yep.
This never happened. Um, how do I feel about it personally? I think it did a pretty good job. I think that's kind of how I look like if I had a beauty filter on, which is fine by
Yeah,
me.
I noticed things got a little softer. That was
Yeah. But again, if you're using this for just like a transition, this is like not
yeah.
a
Yeah, if you're doing
problem.
like a fade out or any kind of effect over that, yeah.
So I'm gonna rename this because clearly the nested sequences are getting to me. And I'm gonna bring this into the horizontal sequence that we have over here, since this one didn't work out great. And I gotta zoom out. I feel like when I'm zoomed in too much, I feel even more disoriented.
Oh, you mean when you're looking at the project?
Yeah, if I need to
Yeah.
be
You
like
don't
zoomed
see enough.
out,
Yeah.
but I know that for the demo, that's not, you can't see as much.
Right.
Anyway, here is the generative extend that I just shared with you guys that we just watched with, I'm gonna call Poorless Me. She's here. And let's say I want to use, for some reason, that's the exact part that I need. Maybe, I have another clip coming right after it. Let's see. You can actually, once you do the generative extend, you can reverse. I've noticed that if you have a
Oh,
clip already
yeah.
reversed, you cannot generative extend it, but you can generative extend and then reverse.
Oh, yes, because it's applying that. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
So now I
Good
have,
to know.
yeah, I went ahead and flipped it just so that we can have the AI version of me in there. And something cool that you can do now that you have this all set is actually go into your effects and apply some video transitions. So, for example, let's say I want a cross dissolve, you can just drop it in here. I don't know why sometimes it behaves for me and sometimes it does not. I
Right,
feel
not
like it's a
extending to the other
setting.
clip.
Yeah, it's not going to the other clip, but I just did it on a different one. Maybe I'll have to find it in my project and show you guys the how it worked. I'm not sure. I feel like that's a setting of mine that maybe I have that's not
Does it?
allowing it.
Yeah. I'm trying to troubleshoot it myself, and I'm
All good. I just did it over here in one of these sequences. It's this one, I believe. Oh yeah, I have some more like very, very strange examples to show you guys
oh, stranger
of,
the better.
yeah, but they actually they worked really well. Here we go. I think it's this one. I'm losing all my clips. There's one where I want to show you how here it is. Here it
Oh,
is.
there we
Okay.
go.
So this clip right here is that one that I showed you earlier with the longer intro, and it like zooms out way further than the actual clip did. And I'm using like the entire one just to really exemplify the capacity. So yeah, you can see here. But if I hold 1 second, there we go. Here is the previous clip, which is like a nested sequence I created. And then the transition just goes right over it,
Oh, I can see.
over into the generatively extended clip. I'll play it through. 1 second.
Happy with how the portraits turned out, and I can't wait to pop up all over Philly and beyond.
All right, so you can see that that's totally doable. I feel like sometimes, like I said, I'm able to add the
The cross dissolve or
cross
the
dissolve,
effects.
and then
Yeah.
other times it just like
Hmm.
blocks me. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I thought I'd let you guys know that it is doable.
Yeah.
Now, I have so many things open here. Here's another one. This is a sketchbook clip. Again, you can tell this was vertical, intended for vertical. I went ahead and exported it horizontal.
Real quick before we go, we have a question before we get into this. I think this was talking about the filtered you. There was a question
Hmm.
about how long it took that clip to render. Do you remember?
You know what? I think it took less time than the one we watched render. And I think it's because it's closer up.
Yeah.
So there's definitely, I think it's just easier when it's a little bit more obvious. Something I will
Gotcha.
point out here is you cannot generative extend the you cannot generative extend from both ends, if I'm making any sense here. So I cannot, once I have this, also extend the front end of that clip. You can only
Mhm.
extend one or the other. I'm not sure why. If you think about it, I feel like maybe it could be doable in someday. You know, it might be doable. But for example, here's the clip where we extended it in the beginning.
Yeah.
If I try to use generative extend now at the end, it will say generative extend can only be applied once. So choose your generative extend
Yeah, and you
wisely.
could always export that, bring it back in, extend on the end.
Yes, it would be the whole thing that I just did,
Right,
which
exactly.
which does cause some file confusion, try as I might. Um, okay. So that's how you're able to do that. And I want to show you guys the audio thing that I did real quick here. I have a ton of sequences open to do. Oh, I was going to show you this one. This is just the example of one with a drawing. It's not audio related, but you can see here, this is the clip. I'm just trying to capture stuff for social media. I'm going to go ahead and breeze past that. And let's say I just didn't hold it enough.
Hmm.
It did a pretty good job adding just some frames there. I'll zoom into it so you guys can see here. So here's like once these hands leave, we come into a bit of generative extend right around here. So it did a pretty good job if there's not a ton of motion. So there are definitely clips that lend themselves better to generative extend than others. But that's all right. Again, you can always
Yeah,
just keep
I
playing
think
with it.
that's what's expected, right? At this
Yeah,
point.
at
Yeah.
this point, I'm sure like as we keep on going, we'll get more and more options here. Now, let me find the Portugal one that I wanted to show you. Sequences, Portugal. We will just redo it. Here we go. Portugal.
Oh, Keys brings out a good point. Probably if you cut the clip, we were talking about not being able to re-add
Mm-hmm.
the generator, but if you made a separate or duplicate clip, then you could just do it on that one. Does that
Maybe.
make
Let's
sense?
try
Like,
it. Yeah, let's
yeah,
try
if
it.
you copied, I don't see why it
I
wouldn't.
don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we go into this one,
It would save you a lot of export import
yeah,
time
it would. It would
potentially.
potentially. Okay, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
copy. Oops, no, everything is different. Okay, I'm gonna copy that. I'm going to undo the speed and duration. I mean the reverse that I had applied to it. So now we have this clip where we originally did the horizontal clip where we extended
Hmm.
the ending. If we went ahead and copied this clip, no, I couldn't copy the clip, right? I have to copy
Well, right. I think
the
you meant the
actual clip, the
original.
original clip.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're right. Reveal in project. It's this clip here. So let's go here. Remove that. Bring this clip over. So here's the original clip. And now if I use generative extend to extend the beginning instead of the ending, it'll let me. I'm only going to do a second
Yeah.
so we can see. But yeah, that totally worked. So you are right. I hadn't hit that yet. But let's see what it does here. I think this might trip it up if it's hand centric, which
Oh, is that what it's
the
trying to
nature
think
of
about
drawing
it? Yeah.
tends to be close up of hands and drawings, which is a little tricky. That's why I have this clip on the left that I want to show you guys is maybe a little bit more realistic to most use cases.
Hmm.
But look, it did generate just some audio, even though it seems really
Yeah, it
quiet.
looks like it
It
has
put
a mute.
something in there.
Yeah, it's something on the back end of that.
So let's see what it does here. Go ahead and hit save.
Yeah, it's still generating.
It's still generating. While that's generating, I'm going to bring this clip over, which is just this little clip of my coffee that I was like, oh, cute B-roll. And in fact, it is cute B-roll, but you can hear the audio here. So just while the other one's generating, we may as well show some more examples here.
Absolutely.
Let's move the audio down. Oh, very loud. I'm going to just real quick. Okay, so really an uneventful clip, but this is the kind of clip that maybe you'd be like, "Oh, I wish I had a little more of that audio to transition into my next clip." Because the next one is totally quiet or something and you need to, make it all match. You can't just generative extend this one and get a little bit more room tone. So I'm going to show you that as soon as we're done with this
Oh, it
one,
looks like it's
which
done.
it's done. All right, let's see what happens. I think it worked enough.
Yeah.
It is quiet. Oh no, that's on a muted track. Here we go.
Do you like it?
I feel like it really filled it in.
Yeah. It like
There's
it
a little
looks like it.
clicking, which I'm not
Yeah.
sure if that's part of the. I feel like maybe that's where it kind of messed up a little bit.
Yeah, it must have detected
Do you
something
like it?
because
Oh,
there's a
but there
click
is
throughout.
clicking
Yeah.
throughout. So maybe it's just smarter than we expected. But in this one, again, when you're not dealing with drawings, I feel like with drawings, it's a little bit tricky. Like if I were to zoom in here, some of these strokes are not the
Yeah.
most believable and it gets a little bit weird here, but that's to be expected with this specific kind of clip. But with more just a standard video clip, it's not about a drawing, it'll work even better. So I'm going to hit generative extend. And the reason I wanted to show you this one is because it does a pretty impressive job, at least when I did it earlier, of keeping the text legible. Oh no, this is not the re-exported clip. This is the regular clip. So let me grab the re-exported version of this
I
clip.
mean, I completely believe that it turned out well, and I believe
Yes.
chat does too. So you're in good company.
Okay, here it is. I did it earlier, so we don't even have to wait for it to export. Oh, I keep doing that. I really need to change that. Okay, I'm gonna play it from like right around here. So that worked really nice. It was, yeah, I'm sure maybe you didn't even detect it. If I bring it down a little bit further, you can see right around here is like this would be AI generated.
Yeah.
And that looks great. So with just like font based text, I think it does a pretty decent job if it's not maybe super in motion or something like that. And you can tell here the audio, it continued to generate the audio.
Oh, it sure did. Yeah. You can
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah. So that's pretty sweet. And from there, you could just blend that audio with, any other clip. So if I were to bring this over to the one that we've mostly been working on, which is this clip here, theoretically, I'm going to move this one out. Bring this one over.
Kane in chat had a interesting comment about it'd be nice to mask out the parts we didn't like and just generate on top of that. Maybe sometime in the future.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many interesting ways to play with this tool. And I feel like as it develops, it will be less, even more adaptable.
Hmm.
So let's do an audio crossfade here. I don't understand why
Does it have to
sometimes
do with it being a nested clip, maybe, or
well, this is just an
that
audio
one's not
clip.
nested? Okay, that's just audio.
That's just an audio
Oh,
clip.
it
So
sure is.
not really, I think what if I go apply default transition? And what if I move it? I promise you it's doable. I've done it as you've seen
Oh, yeah,
earlier.
that's the way it's
But
supposed to function for
for
sure.
some reason, I think I have some sort of setting that is blocking that, but that's how you would be able to just
Hmm.
keep playing with the extended audio. Yeah, do we have any other questions in the chat about this super powerful tool?
Yeah, let us know, chat. If you're just coming in, we're about at the 10-minute warning mark, but we are with Fabiola, and she is walking us through some of the generative AI, generative extend tools in Premiere
Yes.
Pro.
And there's a ton of different use cases. So, welcome in. Now, let's see. I'm going to go back over to the live drawing vertical, which I have in here. Cool. So, here is, as a reminder, when I was able to AI generate just the beginning of that clip. And I was able to use it vertically, which you wouldn't assume you could use Gen Extend vertically, but clearly there are ways around it. And I recommend just setting up a little horizontal scratch pad for yourself so you
Mhm.
can work there and then bring that into your final sequence because it does get a little unruly. Um, but yeah, I feel like there are so many uses for generative extend, and this is only like the beginning of it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, like what's coming up. Does it get better? Are we kind of here for a while, or are we gonna, obviously
I
this is the beginning.
I bet it gets
Uh,
better.
well, I'm sure it'll get better.
Yeah. Another tool that I want to show while we're in here that can be used both horizontally and vertically that's new and in beta are these new settings right here at the bottom left of your program monitor right here. So
Yeah,
now you can just from the program monitor transform your actual clip instead of having to go into the properties panel.
right. So
So
it,
that's
it
super handy.
operates, yeah, it operates a lot more like the other programs. You could do this,
Yeah.
I forget what it was that you could do
In
this prior, but
properties.
yeah, but it wasn't as easy.
No, you had to like really like push the numbers around. This is like you can really frame it however you want. And so this is really handy when you are actually then using your generative AI clip to be able to, decide how scaled in you want it or not.
Right.
Um, yeah, so it's pretty handy
Out and
and
I
oops. I have been really loving that. It feels like such a natural uh, extension of it all. And another quick thing here is the crop tool. And this is great because now you can actually just crop your videos right within here. Oh, why can't I grab it? There we go. So I could just crop it to this little piece and stack it anywhere else. So now it could live on top of this other clip if I wanted and create like a cool montage
Yeah.
and then use
Mhm.
generative extend alongside it. Did you have a question in there, Wade?
No, no question. I'm just watching you work, seeing the
Got it,
magic.
got it,
Are
got
there
it.
any other beta tools that you want to explore or talk about?
These two are the ones I feel like are the most handy. I know that there's a new properties panel, but not sure why it's not popping up for me right now. It was earlier, but that's a thing. And there's the new color tools. So if you go over, I think, to Premiere, to File, Project Settings, Color, you can now hit Color Manage Auto Detected Log and Raw Media.
Oh,
And if you
okay.
select this and you import log footage, it will automatically identify your log footage and correct it for you without having to do anything else. So that's
Oh,
super
that's pretty,
handy.
yeah, that's pretty
Let's
nice.
see. I have some DJI log footage. So let's grab that. I believe all this live drawing stuff, actually, all those clips are in log. So
So it corrected those without you having to do it manually?
it's supposed to, but I'm not sure if it's doing it in
Okay.
here.
Okay.
But it might be. Did I leave the project settings? Yeah. Enable color space aware effects, maybe. So I'm not sure if it looks a touch different or not. But it's capable of doing it now. I feel like this session of my beta program is acting a little funky. So
Yeah, it sounds
I
like with Windows not coming up or, certain
yeah,
property
I
you're
think
when you're
something's up.
yeah, when your properties aren't coming up, it might be
Something's up
something with the
here.
beta maybe.
Yeah. So that is handy and it's in there. And it's cool because if you use all sorts of different log footage, it will automatically correct it for you. So you can just start doing your color editing from there instead of having to do it from the LUT. You can see here in my sequence here that was created before that setting, I had the Osmo Pocket D-Log LUT applied.
Uh-huh.
Let me see. Let me change my workspace to vertical. And you can see it turn on and off there. And then I had like just some of my own coloring that I wanted to add. So there's tons of ways to do it, but now there's one less step, which is always handy.
Nice.
And let me go back to my sequences and let's do another extend in these last few minutes here.
Yeah.
What else can we extend? So I have some more sketchbook footage.
I want to see what happens. Not that we can do this now, but I'd love to see if you just kept exporting and extend and then extending on that export and then continue just to see where we
That
get.
sounds like its
Yeah.
own live stream for
Yeah.
sure. Just
100%.
2 hours of export, re-export,
Yeah,
export,
like psychedelic,
extend. Yeah.
generative extend.
Yeah. Okay, so there's this clip I'm curious about because
Oh,
it's a
that's cool.
pattern.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just wondering if how generative extend will handle something like a pattern. So let me switch workspaces here so we can
I
get
feel
a
like
better
with
view.
the stone, like the little coffee, the little miniature coffee, by the way, which I was like, is that a one shot situation where you're like,
Yes, that
you're
was like
done?
a little cortado
Yeah.
espresso
Uh,
situation.
but there was a texture in the background, or I guess it was the brickwork on the
Hmm.
ground. It looked like it did a really good job. So I want to see what happens here.
Okay, let's go again. This is 4K footage, so I'm gonna have to real quick just re-export it. I have it here in my re-exports. I'm going to put it in here,
This might
save.
take us down to the wire, but keep working.
I'm going to
Uh,
go super
we're gonna,
fast.
yeah, we're gonna try to get one more of these generated before we go, everybody. If you have
All
any
right.
questions, get them in real quick.
Yes. Okay, so I have it here. Let's bring it on over. Now, this is the 1080 version of that same clip, and I'm going to extend the ending here. And we're only going to do a little bit just for the sake of the stream
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
And let's see what it does. I think it's going to do a pretty good job. I feel like whenever it's predictable, that's when it
yeah,
works the best. But
yeah.
you
That's definitely what I've seen today. Seems like.
but I'm still surprised at the fact that it reproduced my face accurately on the other one.
Yeah.
So
It
that was a
oh
surprise.
no.
No, no, it's
Oh, it's
generative
just extending.
extending.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
generative extending.
Anytime I
We
see that page like that, I'm like, okay, we've lost our
bad news,
footage.
bad
Yeah.
news. Yeah. No, no. This will you're gonna have to adapt to
That's right.
the new way of the world here. Oh man, I was really hoping it'd be a little faster.
We still might get there. I'm
We still might
gonna
get
give it a
there.
second.
I'm hoping so
Yeah, it
because
might be the very. I mean, we can run this to the very end.
let's
We'll
see
see.
here. I'm very curious because these are the kinds of shots that I feel like I record and then I'm like, oh, I wish, I kind of recorded it all at different pacing and now
Mhm.
I want one smooth section and I don't have it because it's all like run and gun. I'm just like capturing stuff too
Yeah.
on the fly and I don't give myself a second to like be a little bit thoughtful. Um,
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna make it. I'll go
I
ahead
don't
and
know if
start
we're gonna
saying
make it.
outros. Let it work. Let it cook. But we've been here with Fabiola doing some generative extend, and we've got Lucas O'Keefe coming up next, I believe. We're gonna see if this will pan out. It's at 75%. We have a few more seconds. We're gonna see how this goes.
If not, I'll post
But
it in
yeah,
my
where can we
Instagram
find you?
stories.
Yeah, there
If
you
not,
go.
I'll post the finish extended. Oh,
Oh, it's done.
here we go.
It's
Let's see.
done.
Let's get in
Quick,
here.
quickly.
Oh, where'd
Oh
it go?
no.
Here,
User
here,
error. It's
here, here,
okay.
here. It's very
Not bad.
little.
Not bad.
It's very little. So it's like just this clip right here, if
Yeah.
you can tell. So
All
you
right.
just lose a little bit of
That's all
the.
we got. Sorry. Thanks, Fabio. This has been great.
Bye, everyone.
Yep. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.